The Chicago Bulls came back and won a game last night versus the Memphis Grizzlies. A lot of things to take away from that game. But on today's episode, one thing that I'm finding very, very interesting is a particular lineup that the Chicago Bulls did. And that why I feel the Chicago Bulls should be trying to maximize this lineup this season. Y'all know we're going to talk about it, break it all down, but you gotta hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
Shot Boys Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode. For my new people that's tuning in, welcome to the channel. Join the family. Hit the like button and subscribe. To my family members that's been rocking with us, appreciate y'all. Welcome back. But hey, the Chicago Bulls pull out a victory versus the Memphis Grizzlies last night when they were down by 20 plus points in the game. Me and CDubb, we on the live call. We roasting the Chicago Bulls. None of the shots are falling. The Chicago Bulls are not moving that well on the offensive side. The defense was a little bit up and down, and then it clicked. And those Chicago Bulls, they came out, showed a lot of heart, and played an exciting, good brand of basketball after falling down so far in the game, early in the game. But the bright spots that we were able to take away from this game yesterday was that the Chicago Bulls shot 47% from the three as a team, 25 for 53. Never thought I'd see the day that will happen, especially with the challenges that we've had these last few seasons. The Chicago Bulls also assisted on 36 baskets to where they was able to share the rock and be able to get a lot of guys involved. Very balanced scoring attack from the Chicago Bulls last night. And the best thing of it all, they kept the damn turnovers down. Only 9 turnovers in last night's victory. And the best thing about it, they took care of the basketball, and then they was able to capitalize on the mistakes by the Grizzlies to where in return, they only turned the ball over 10 times. But the Chicago Bulls were able to put 20 points up off of those 10 turnovers. That was one of the helping factors, deciding factors to help the Chicago Bulls pull this out. Very, very exciting game. Now, with all the things considered within that game, there was one lineup that I believe that the Chicago Bulls should try to go ahead and maximize as much as possible during this season. That lineup consists of Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, Josh Giddey, Kobe White, and Nikola Vucevic. That lineup was very, very exciting to watch. Now, don't get me wrong, and I will be upfront about it. We've only gotten a small sample size of this lineup, so we gotta see if this is something that can be sustainable for the Chicago Bulls. But the way it looked good. They did have some challenges on the defensive side. I'm not going to hold you. There were some challenges on the defensive side. But to the lineup's credit, Lonzo Ball was able to push the pace, get down court, have things set up for other guys. Josh Giddey can kind of just way off to the side, but also step in if need be. Zach LaVine was on a heater. Zach LaVine put on an absolutely fantastic second half for the Chicago Bulls, and Josh Giddey, all things considered, my man's almost had a triple-double yesterday. But the biggest thing outside of the stats for me that add on to the importance of his stats from yesterday's game was that in that fourth quarter, for 3 straight possessions, my man's grabbed a big time rebound to not allow the Memphis Grizzlies to have another opportunity at scoring the basketball and helping the Chicago Bulls close that game. And Kobe White, he was out there doing his thing too, operating as well, just playing good, sound basketball. And Nikola Vucevic, my goodness, all the smoke that I gave this man coming into this season, I'm kind of quiet. I'm kind of quiet when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, Nikola Vucevic right now and how he's been playing for the Chicago Bulls. I want to see if he can continue this play, but I'm not going to sell him short when I say he's having a great start to this season. During this season so far, 20 points. 51% from the field, 52% from three, ladies and gentlemen. 52% for three from Nikola Vucevic. Now, when it comes to this lineup, I am going to be real. There will be some challenges with this lineup. Some of those challenges, oh shit. Some of those challenges include Lonzo Ball minutes restriction. He's not playing in back-to-backs. And when he is playing, he's been limited to 16 minutes. Now, yesterday, the Chicago Bulls went over that 16-minute limit and played him 18 minutes. And that's going to be a challenge. But I do have to ask the question. Y'all know we got to ask the question. How long do those 16 minutes last? Because if he played 18 minutes last night, if he's waking up today feeling good and feeling all right, that's something you might keep in your mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying rush the process. Do not rush the process. But if there is a way that you can come to the determination to say, hey, it's okay now to move Lonzo up from 16 to 20, I believe that will be great justice for the Chicago Bulls in this potential lineup that I want to see them maximize. My goodness. And when we talk about the lineup of Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, Josh Giddey, Kobe White, and Nikola Vucevic. Again, a small sample size. I want to see it a little bit more before we come to the determination to say that this is going to be great. But I want to place opportunities on the basketball court to see how great they can be. I'd rather have the experiment and then come to that and say no than to not try it out very much and then to just not have the answer. But the lineup of those guys in just the one game, they accounted for 42 points, shooting 72% from the field and 66% from the three, and had 13 assists as a group. That is efficient. That was fun to watch yesterday. It was. So I want to see the Chicago Bulls just try it out a little bit more. Give us a little bit more information on if this is a lineup that you can utilize to fight back in games, to maintain, point scoring and going toe-to-toe with some teams in a game, to take off and extend your lead in some games. Again, there will be challenges offensively, more so defensively, but there is some caveats in there that could make this something sustainable. You got the rebounding ability. You got two good ball handlers on there. You got some good three-point shooters out there. And much kudos to Josh Giddey. The man is shooting over 40% from the three this season. It is just a start. So we ain't going to overreact to all this. But I'm interested to see if Billy Donovan looked at this lineup and say, hey, this is something I want to continue to explore, because it was exciting. The spacing on the floor was there. The challenger is going to come on the defensive side, but if guys can rebound and change the opposing team's shot and give yourself an opportunity to have stops and make stops in the game, we shall see what this thing can be. We shall see what this thing could be. So y'all let me know how y'all thinking about that lineup of Lonzo, Zach, Josh Giddey, Kobe White, and Vooch. Did you like what you seen out of this lineup yesterday? And do you think, when you talk about what you've seen and added up with the stats, do you think if this is something that could be sustainable for the Chicago Bulls? Because if we saying that, I know it's not going to be like this forever. But if a starting off at 72% field goal percentage and 66% three-point percentage and 13 assists, yes, that's all offensive stuff. Not much on the defensive side. They did get 2 steals and a block, so there is a little bit of You know what I'm saying? There's a little bit that can go in behind that defensive concern that we might have with this lineup, but it is very, very intriguing. So let me know. But before we get up out of here, I also want to shine some light on Jalen Smith. Him and Nikola Vucevic have been the best position on the squad so far. These two guys have been balling. Nikola Vucevic, we already went through the stats with him and the way he's been shooting the ball, how efficient he has been for the Chicago Bulls. The same could be said about Jalen Smith. 53% field goal percentage, and from the three, 57%. Again, all these things are going to fluctuate. They're going to go up, they're going to go down. But to start off, for a Chicago Bulls team that a lot of people had coming out the gate as 0-3 and potentially 0-4, these guys sit at 2-2. I ain't saying it's the best thing in the world, but I'd rather be 2-2 and then 0-4 or 1-3. So we got to take it for what it is. We still are gonna go through the process of rooting on this team and supporting them, and we know it's gonna be a lot of frustrating nights. We do. But when the good comes and you see that there's something good that can come out of this situation, we got to ride with it. We got to give credit when credit is due, because Billy Donovan, that game last night and the game in Milwaukee, those was two good examples of his coaching ability. He just has to be more consistent. I believe this team is fitting his play style, that he wants to play a little bit more than teams in the past. So we shall see what comes out of this. Again, the objective for the Chicago Bulls was to win as many games as possible. I didn't put it out there. This is coming from the front office. And another thing before we roll up out of here that I took away from the game is Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips. My two young Bulls, they out there making me very, very proud. Dalen Terry, my goodness. At one point, we didn't know if Dalen Terry was ever going to calm down. Calm down. We never knew if Dalen Terry was going to calm down. We was calling him Crash Bandicoot all last season. All last season. We ain't called him Crash Bandicoot one time this season, at least as far as I can remember on Shy Bulls podcast. My man has been comfortable. My man has been impactful in some of these games. When we talk about the minutes that he received versus Milwaukee, he came in and made some plays defensively to help change that game when he defended Damian Lillard. Go look at the film. Don't just look at the box score. I love that we can go to the box score and kind of correlate things, but you also have to lay eyes on the basketball game. Go look at his defense and his activity on Damian Lillard, and then look at him on the offensive side, making the right pass, making the additional pass, cutting to the basket to draw his defender away from his teammates to help create open shots. It's still just the beginning for Dalen Terry, but I am very, very happy from what I've seen out of him. And Julian Phillips, my goodness. Julian Phillips, my goodness. This young man has been playing outstanding basketball for the Chicago Bulls for the start of this season. And I believe that Billy Donovan is gaining and placing a lot of trust in Julian Phillips, because the man just seems to make the right play. He doesn't go out there and try to not be himself. If the three is there, he's shooting that bit. If it's in the paint, he dunking that bit. Shout out to him getting that poster yesterday, being aggressive at the basket. And I can say the defense is not too shabby. Him and when him and Dalen Terry was on the court together defending, those two guys look like a nice, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say duo, but they were two solid pieces that the Chicago Bulls was able to depend on when they went to their bench and their younger guys. So big kudos to them. Shout out to the coaching staff for what they've been doing so far. And shout out to the team. It's been better than expected. But hey, we still got games left in this season. Y'all know we're going to keep on rocking and rolling. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let me know all your thoughts and everything regarding the Chicago Bulls in the comment box. If you want to call in and be a part of our mailbag episode, call in, state your name, and leave your take. The number to do so is 773-242-9219. And just for those that called in a couple days ago, I will have a mailbag episode dropping for you all tomorrow, answering your questions and getting back to you. Just if they roll in, we'll make it happen. If it's a little steady, we'll kind of take our time with it. That is an opportunity for us to communicate and interact with you all. So if you want to be a part of the show, call in. And we are happy to make it happen and adjust our schedules to where it's not only based on having it during the weekend. If it calls for us to do it during the week, we will do that for you all. We know that you all are the greatest supporters of this channel. So we appreciate y'all. But that is it for me today. Thank y'all. Make sure y'all always see red. And y'all already know I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac.